We have three former aces that have fallen from grace with Kodai Senga, Tanner Bibee, and Bryce Miller. And we also have five bats as well that you need to get off your fantasy team before we head into the playoffs. Those names and more on today's action-packed episode of Locked On Fantasy Baseball.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics, and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Baseball podcast, brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. As always, we're your number one source of fantasy baseball knowledge, and thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. I'm your host, Dominic Martino, here as always with my brother, my co-host, my partner in crime, Matthew Ahne. As you can see if you're watching on YouTube, and if you are watching on YouTube and you haven't already, hit that little bell below. It's going to subscribe you to the channel and give you notification every time we drop a new episode. Or if you're listening on the audio side of things, once again, make sure you subscribe. And if you're listening on a platform like Apple or Spotify that allows 5-star ratings and reviews, we would truly appreciate it if you do that for us as well. And with football season, right around the corner, basically here, and, taking your mind off of baseball a little bit, let Matt and I help keep you locked on and get you a fantasy baseball championship this year by joining us on the Insider's Track. Link is in the bio if you're listening, watching, and is available on any of our social media platforms. So, hey, listen. Let's make fantasy baseball easy and help get you that championship. Join us on the Insider's Track. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is around the corner. Visit FanDuel, visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now. Matt, it's trim the fat time. It's trim the fat time. We got big names. I mentioned three former aces at the top. We got a bunch of bats today. But Matt, where are we going with first today, my brother?
All right. And, I feel this is an important conversation of what to do with these players. One, I will say this. I'll tee this up and I'll give it a little tease so we can keep, getting on there. We got one guy who just came back off the IL that already is a little shaky, that had a shaky start. We have another guy who we expected a really, really, really high end and ended up flopping so far this whole season. And last time, the guy I'm going to talk about first, Mr. Kodai Senga, the New York Mets starting pitcher, him, who has been good most of the season since coming back from injury, has just had a really rough go with things. And let's get into it, right? So, first things first, Kodai Senga on the season has, a 2.73 ERA with 103 strikeouts, with 7 wins and a 129 whip, which is really bad, through 108 innings. But over the last month, it's been really ugly. 5.46 ERA with 24 strikeouts and 28 innings and a 1.61 whip. And last couple starts has just been fugly. Phillies lit him up. Washington lit him up. Handled Atlanta. Handled Milwaukee. But San Francisco hit him. San Francisco hit him again. LA hit him. And then was just fine. So it's really just like last month and a half that it's been kind of ugly. Can we get past it? Can we see a path through this? Is essentially what this is about right now, right? Wholeheartedly, are we really dropping Kodai Senga? No, not at all. The talent is too good. He has too many good pitches in his arsenal. I'm not dropping him. He's not even in consideration. But look, it's trim the fat time, and there's probably people freaking out. Like, what do I do? Well, I'm here to tell you to, keep calm. Honestly, you still have to roll him out there unless you're in like a weekly league. Then you can make that choice. You just want your best matchups and your best pitchers out there. But in the daily leagues, you kind of still have to. The volume's still going to be there in a lot of aspects of it. And that's kind of the key part, right? Like he can go out there any given night and put out eight strikeout night, at worst 4. He's able to, possibly get a win because he plays for the New York Mets and things like that. So there's bonuses, but he's absolutely obliterating your ERA. And honestly, of late, his fastball and breaking ball pitches have really gotten flat, like flat as can be. Like it's like the polar opposite of any road in Staten Island, New York. Super bumpy and potholey. Your car gets some movement. Not this. They are flat as can be. It's kind of rough. It's like driving through the New Jersey Turnpike. It's really nice. But anyway, if you're a New Yorker, you got all my references. But anyway, fastball is about the same in terms of velocity. Expected batting average against him is really just a 232. The xERA is looking a little ugly at 393. Getting guys to chase 28.6% of the time, like 0.1%. And he's actually getting the red mark on Baseball Savant. So whatever. Whiff is pretty good. doing that 27.3% of the time, strikeouts 22% of the time, which honestly is a little surprising. Thing I love the most is, though, at least with all this, unsuccessfulness of late, the ground ball rate is still really nice. He's creating ground balls at 46.8% of the time, which can help sustain and produce better ERA because, hey, it's not going to pop fly. It's not going over the fence. You're producing ground balls. You're getting easy outs. So that's the key part right there for me with Senga. I think that, moving forward, we're just going to have to bite the bullet and hang on to it and pray that things get a lot better. That fork ball is still absolutely unhittable. It's at a 133 batting average against it. The cutter still has a 250 batting average. And the fastball is getting hit a little bit, but things I think will start getting better really soon. He still has a put away of 18.6% of the time with that four seam fastball, even with that batting average. So I like Kodai Senga as a whole. I am just ready to just see him turn a corner. It may come any day. I can't drop him.
Oh, Matt, I don't know. This one's tough for me, man. Sanga's been real bad. I know you highlighted a lot of it, but Sid, going back to July 11th, 8 starts, has only had 3 starts of 5 innings or more, and the highest two was 5.2 innings. So hasn't really given us any length over that time. Only one outing with over 5 strikeouts, which was a 7 strikeout outing. He's just been giving us nothing, no length, no strikeouts. The ERA over that time is over 6. The whip over that time is a 1.4 whip. He's just been really bad. Even on the season, 21 starts, the whip is at a 1.29. He's under that K per 9 now. I know the ERA still looks good, but it's been really abysmal. If you play in an 10-man league and there's just a decent option on the waiver wire, I would do it for Senga. Who does he get in his next outing? This might make a little bit. The Marlins, they've been pretty good of late. Their past a month or so, they've been hot. I don't know how appetizing that is to me. You throw him out there. I don't even know if he's going to give you 5 innings, which he hasn't done a lot of. After that, he's at Cincinnati, bad ballpark to pitch in. The schedule, I can't go too much further ahead than that. But I put it on a 4. I put Senga on a 4 on the drop it like it's hot meter. Shallower leagues, I could see where you make the play for it. In those NL onlys, those 15-mans, as Matt said, you're probably not going to be able to do it in a situation like that just because of who Senga is. And on the waiver wire, there's probably not anyone worth adding anyway. And I'll say this, what makes it even worse is the Mets are probably going to that 6-man rotation with Jonathan coming up. The rumor is Friday. If you didn't listen to us, yesterday's episode where we talked about Tong, so it doesn't look like any 2 start weeks left for Senga if Tong gets the call to go to the 6-man. It's just all arrow signs pointing down for Senga, unfortunately, heading into the end of the season. Let's move on to somebody who's arguably worse. Yeah, let's do it because we only talked about one guy so far. Let's just keep going. Tanner Bibee, man, we've talked about him a couple of times on the Drop Like It's Hot episode. He's officially at a 10, if not higher. He's been there for me. I don't know what happened this year. I'm going to have to deep dive Bibee in the offseason to find it because Matt and I had him ranked super high. We were high in him. Hey, listen, you can't hit on everything here. Otherwise we'd be making a lot more money than we do doing this because, we do well, but we're not above and beyond the best in the industry, but we do a pretty good job over here. But Bibee on the season, 26 starts, 9 wins, 4.73 ERA, 1.31 whip. 148 innings, 132 strikeouts. He's doing nothing good. He's just been really bad all year. Can't make any sort of excuse or say anything good about him, but he's 84% owned. That doesn't make any sense for me. It's 100% safe to drop Bibee. I dropped him in the one league I had him in about a month ago, and he never got added in that league. So it's very safe to drop Bibee at this point.
Well said, Dom. Honestly, I look at it like this. Bibee has just been so atrocious. It's kind of sad. I mean, fastballs flat as could be. Off-speed pitches are bad as could be. Expected ERA, yeah, should be better. Air quotes with a 3.83 ERA. No, that's not what we spent the top 24 pick on for. Well, top 24 SP pick on him. Fastball velocity, yeah, is the same and all that wonderful stuff, but everything else is just kind of ugly. Bright spots, of course, is how little he allows hard contact and creates ground balls, but nothing looks great. I mean, Look, you look at the batting averages with the fastball. It's gotten worse this year from last year, and last year it wasn't impressive. The cutter that he had success with last year at a 144 batting average has a 244 batting average. It's just a lot of things have gone wrong for him. And again, a deeper dive is definitely worth it. Tanner Bibee is just a disappointment overall. We're gonna have to really take a take a back step on him for going into 2026. Coming up next, we got guys like Bryce Miller, that honestly I don't know what to do with because the bad play still continues, and this is just only going to get worse. So that's all coming up after the break.
And all right, guys, there's nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person, but actually getting the tickets, that's the tough part. Queues, login screens, surprise fees, it takes the fun out of it all. That's why I use GameTime, the app that gives the advantage back to fans. GameTime is fast, easy, and backed by the GameTime guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all the fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. The app made it super simple. I could even see the exact view from my seat before buying. Fees are included, and you know your total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. I love the zone deals too. Pick the section, GameTime picks the seats, and you save big. Honestly, it's faster, cheaper, and less stressful than any other way I've bought tickets. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the GameTime app today. And all right, guys, one more. I'm going to talk to you about my friends over at FanDuel. The NFL season is almost here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using the FanDuel app because it fits however you'd like to bet, whether it's player props, building a same game parlay, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. It makes every game more exciting, whether you're watching your team or just getting an eye on your fantasy lineup. It's quick, easy, and the best way to add a little bit more energy to Sundays. So, are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app and, by going to the FanDuel website, FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet today. And all right, guys, we got an important request. Locked On wants to hear from you. We put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcast even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes the survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes. Thanks for helping us out. And all right, Matt, once again, that's a lot more talking than any human being should have to do in a row. But all right, brother, I'm going to pass it off to you. Let's keep things going here. Oh, actually, you know what? I got to talk. I actually have to. I'm forced to talk here because you gave your take on Bryce Miller already, right? Let me.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? No, okay. I'm losing it, Matt. So go ahead, talk about Bryce Miller.
I know you hate the sound of your own voice, and most of the people do, but I mean, come on. I'm kidding. That was a lot.
Well done, sometimes sir. I do, Matt. Sometimes I do. You're not wrong.
I know. I only know you for 20 years. But let's keep this going. Bryce Miller, starting pitcher for the Seattle Mariners, obviously coming back off injury, was dealing with elbow injury. Honestly, I really thought he was going to get TJ. There's still time for that too, and do not forget about that going into 2026 if he doesn't get that. It's like almost the Garrett Cole situation, right? Except Garrett Cole came back and was awesome. But anyway, Bryce Miller is kind of on that same trajectory. I think that we're going to see that next year. But let's get into what's going on this year. So far, Bryce Miller since returning has been horrendous, like utterly horrendous. It honestly makes me beyond sad and on so many levels because I honestly thought, hey, maybe a little rest would have did it. But since returning, he has a 7.20 ERA through 10 innings. He went 5 innings, both 4 Ks on both occasions, and just has been ugly. It's just been so ugly. Now, hey, who knows? Maybe he's adjusting to how he throws his pitches, or something they've worked on in the rehab. I don't know, but here's the thing: if you don't have the ability to carry him through this week, and you need to drop him, I honestly don't blame you. If you can hold him, if you have the bye next week, I am holding him for one more start. I want to see if he can get it right. We all remember what Bryce Miller did last year. Bryce Miller had a sub 3 ERA with 2.94, which was a 2.94 through 31 games, 180 innings pitched, 171 strikeouts, and a .98 WHIP. The polar opposite of this horrendous season. So I look at him and I go, we've seen this happen with other guys that go down with elbow injuries and knocks them out for a good chunk of the season, come back and they have a slow start, and they get going. It'll be his third start and possibly his fourth if it's a 2-start week. If you're on bye and you have it, I'm totally going to hold him. If not, I'm playing next week and I need the spot. I'm dropping him like he's hot. And I'm doing it now because I need to get to next week. So Bryce Miller, depending on your situation, he's a drop in every form.
Yeah, Matt, that's actually a really perfect take. I don't know if I would have said that better myself. He gets the Guardians next week. It's a good matchup. Let's see how it goes. My leash is very short with Bryce Miller. If you're a fan of the podcast, I wasn't a fan of Miller coming into the year. I know he's a decent pitcher. I just thought he was being overhyped based on the numbers last year. So leash is short, but Matt, great take. So I'm not going to spend time on him. Let's keep things pushing. Let's talk about Noah Cameron, man. I think Noah Cameron's getting tired. Young pitcher, hasn't thrown a crazy amount of innings in his career. I want to see exactly how many he threw last year. Don't think it was too many for the young Noah Cameron. But he's starting to get to that point where I think it's just the innings are adding up. I like Noah Cameron. I think he's going to be somebody I'm interested in, next year. Not going to rank him too high, but somebody I kind of want to see where the pieces fall when it comes to starting pitcher rankings next year. With a guy like Cameron, last year in the minors, he threw 128 innings. He's at 100 and he's 140 innings, so far this year. So it looks like he's starting to plateau a bit. Last 2 starts have been bad. Last 3 out of 4, 5 out of 7. You kind of play that kind of game here with Noah Cameron. But on the year, numbers still look really good. 19 starts, 7 wins, 2.92 ERA, 109 WHIP, 108 innings, 83 strikeouts. He gets Detroit on Sunday. Detroit hasn't been as good, of late as they've been on the year, so it's a manageable matchup. But it's tough. I kind of want to see where my team's at. What day is it? Yeah, it's on Sunday. So you can kind of make that call, right? You can kind of wait and see if you need Noah Cameron. You could throw him out there. If not, I kind of sit back. If it's another bad outing on Sunday against Detroit and you're in a shallower league, man, I could see you cutting bait. I'd put Noah Cameron probably at like a 5. Yeah, if I put Senga at a 4, Cameron's at like a 5 for me. Detroit, let's see, it would be 1, 2, 3. And you know what? Maybe you hold out because it's Minnesota. It's Detroit on Sunday, then Minnesota the following week. So, Matt, let's use that same kind of reference used there with Bryce Miller. If you have to buy, it's not a bad option to, maybe hang on, see how that Minnesota start goes. If you don't have the buy, it's not a horrible start. But if you want to go out there and you're in a shallower league, there's somebody better on the waiver wire. I'm not mad at you for that. But a Minnesota matchup, man, you can't. I don't want to pass it up with a guy who's been really, really good all year. Might still be an opportunity where Cameron is useful down the stretch.
I'll make this quick because we have some other stuff and some news that is coming across the stratosphere if you're not aware. So essentially with Noah Cameron, this is my take. I see every once in a while he has a blow up game. It's like every 3 games. So this is his blow up game. I'm going to roll him out for the next couple of weeks. If it's a really horrendous matchup like against Detroit, I mean, not Detroit. Well, or Detroit or the Dodgers or some, ridiculously heavy power team, then yeah, I'm going to sit him. But, if he's rocking and rolling, which I don't think there's any indicator other than, a bad start or here and there, which every pitcher has, I have the confidence to hang on to him. So he's not even a drop for me at all. I think this kid's going to be good. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a top 50 pitcher for me going into 2026. But yeah, let's move on. Breaking news coming out for next week that you're going to have to wait for us to hear right after this. And okay. Hey, Locked On Fantasy Baseball fans, are you looking to play? Are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up your fill up with Upside app. Simply download the app for free, Upside app, on the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash and pump today. Using my limited time promo this season, code season, and get 25 cents back per gallon and fill first fill up. Okay, sorry, my English is horrendous today. You can only make up to $300 a year from just buying the gas you already needed. At first, I thought it was too good to be true, but it totally is legit. Real people are getting paid just for making a daily commute, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, e-gift cards, Amazon, and other brands. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using a limited time promo code season for a limited 25 cents per gallon bonus. The promo code season offered vary by users and locations. Go to upside.com. Terms and conditions comply. And look, I got my own family. I got my own house. I got my own budget. Why wouldn't I pass up on cashback? That's like saying, hey, I'm going to go get a credit card without points. It's the same thing here. If I can get money on my gas card, yeah, I'm going to do it. So download the Upside app today. And all right, like I mentioned right before the break, some news came through about Nathan Eovaldi, starting pitcher for the Texas Rangers. And this is a different, an upsetting one, in all honesty. This is quick. He said he's likely done for the rest of the season. So, I mean, if you haven't heard the news, obviously you're hearing it now. If you were, holding out, I would not, unless you're in like a dynasty league. That's the only time you're going to hold him. But if it's rotator cuff surgery too, it might roll into the first month of the season. So we'll see what what this is going to look like. But Nathan Eovaldi flat out drop.
Yeah, I'll say yeah. I'm with you on that. Get well soon. Eovaldi was having a monster year. But Matt, if you want to keep things pushing, you want me to grab next guy? You want to talk about him?
Yeah, I want to take this one.
Go for it, brother. Go for it.
So, hey, everybody, I'm a Yankee fan, right? Get ready for this one. Anthony Volpe. What do you think I'm going to say here, Dom?
Get him out of here.
Out of here. Get him out of New York, too. That's a whole nother animal. But Anthony Volpe has been the most overhyped player for prospects in a very long time. Look, kid had a great outlook before he got the call. Looks like he could steal everything, literally. Steal your mom, steal your girl, steal your wallet out of your back pocket while also, getting your girl's phone number, like all that. But then Anthony Volpe got to the bigs and flat out flopped so hard it's not even funny. When a guy that was batting nearly 300 in the minors goes and bats 208 on the season and 243 the season before, and a guy that we thought would show a little bit of power, at least he got 18 home runs this season, versus the 12 last year, maybe took a step forward on a team where he should be driven in and should earn his place to hit at the top of that lineup, isn't doing anything of that sort. He's hitting lower in the lineup. He only has 56 runs. 65 ribs, 15 stolen bases, batting 208. The stolen base pace is way less than last year. It's just ugly all around. Quite honestly, drop him. Stop wasting time with him. You could stream the shortstop position and get better results. Cough, cough, Colson Montgomery that we spoke about on Monday. So you need to just get rid of this dude and stop focusing on, oh my God, he can possibly be hyped. No, drop him. And if you got a Yankee fan in your dynasty league, sell him to him. because most Yankee fans, and sometimes I'm included, are absolutely delusional about this kid. I'm from New York. They're delusional. Sell him now. Get him off your team. He's not going to amount to anything. Jared Kelenic, 8.0.
Hey, Matt, I'm with you, especially of late. Volpe's last 20 games, he's hitting 121, 19 strikeouts to 4 walks, only 1 homer and 1 steal, only 8 hits, and that's over 66 at-bats. It's just no reason to hold on at the moment unless you're in the deepest of leagues and there's absolutely nothing on your waiver wire. It's just unfortunate. Volpe, I still don't know if he knows what kind of player he's going to be. This year the batting average takes a step back, as Matt mentioned, and the power takes a step up, but the speed's also way down. So it's just a very confusing time to be a fan of Anthony Volpe or to be an Anthony Volpe owner, because I think you just need to get him off your team at this point. Let's go to another shortstop, from a veteran to from a young guy to a veteran. Dansby Swanson, man, another kind of guy. If Volpe could have a Dansby Swanson type career, he'd be very blessed. But Dansby Swanson, I think he's at the end of it here. It's been struggling the past month as well. Hasn't been doing too much. I'll give you those exact numbers here in a second if this one's low. Yeah, so over the last month, Dansby Swanson, 89 at-bats, 11 runs, 2 homers, 9 RBIs, 2 steals, 213 batting average. And for those of you that are concerned, his OPS is 608, which is absolutely abysmal. He's been moved down to 8th in this Cubs lineup, and the Cubs have been struggling a bit as well. I just don't see the reason. 78% owned is very, very high. I can understand that if you're in an NL only, you're in a deep 15, where you need the middle infield eligibility and stuff like that. Sure. Anything shallower than that, even your 12s, I'm sure there's something out there on the waiver wire that's a bit more useful than Dansby Swanson at the moment.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't even see this season coming, in all honesty, with just the production that he's had so far. And of course, all good times have to come to an end, especially an old man that should have been in the nursing home when it comes to baseball a long time ago. It is what it is. Swanson is no longer his Atlanta Braves self, so I don't really care. And he was a good long stream that now the party has come to an end. Let's move on. Let's talk about Addison Barger, what do you call it? The third base and outfielder for the Toronto Blue Jays. So Barger has had no home runs over the last 2 weeks and has a pitiful batting average on the month at 207. But, through 371 at bats, 55 runs, 18 bombs, 59 ribs, 3 stolen bases, obviously batting 253. Looking real good and stout that way. You also look at the underlying stats, what's going on under the hood. And let's talk about that. XWOB is at 350. Expected batting average actually is at 276. Expected slug is at 500. Average EV, 92.4 miles an hour. He's barreling 12.4% of the time. Creating hard contact over 50% at 51.8% of the time. Launch angle is looking beautiful. Now, the only problem is this kid loves to swing at absolutely everything under the sun. And it's like, could you maybe just not swing one time? That might help. But hey, you know what? If he starts doing like a Nelson Cruz or, a good old, and again, this is not a comp. This is more of a, you want to perform like this, we're okay with it. But a good old Kyle Schwarber, not including this year where he actually hits 250, where he hits the 203. We could do that, Barger, because I think the power's there. His max EV on the season this year is 116 miles an hour on a team that actually has some guys that'll get on base for him. So with Barger, I don't think I'm dropping just on the power upside. I think that the kid could crush the ball enough to, be valuable, even if he's destroying your batting average category. Just hope that you have guys that can make up for it. He's a flat out keep for me, unless this rolls into 3 weeks with no home runs and no runs and ribbies, and the batting average keeps going in this direction. Then I'll move on. But Barger, I think, should be a hold, and we'll see where this journey takes us. I know playoffs are next week, so again, maybe take the same approach I had with Bryce Miller, where if you really need the production and you're really going up against it in the first week of the playoffs, then maybe not do it, not hold on to him. But if you can, I will, because I think this might turn around.
I'll say this, man. I think I'm taking. I love the approach that if you have the buy, you could hold on and see how it goes. But if you need the if you need the production, I'm going to say it's a 6 just for Barger. There's a lot of mouths to feed over there in Toronto. They got a good team. I understand the underlying stuff looks good, but you have Varsha who just came back. Jimenez is back on their bench. They got Ty France and Davis Schneider. Out of the last, we are recording here on Tuesday. Barger hasn't played in 2 out of the last 3 games. So it's just that if he's going to be unproductive, I just don't think Toronto's going to put him in there. There's other bats they can get into the lineup. He might not be playing every day. So when you're in crunch time, you're in the playoffs, and you need somebody that's going to be out there, producing for your team. I don't know if Barger's playing every day next week. I can't guarantee it. And if you're in a league where you can go and get someone on your waiver wire that you know is going to be in that lineup every day next week, I'd go out there and make that move. Once again, if you have the luxury of having a buy and you want to hold on to Barger because he's one of your power guys, I do it. But most formats, I think you can feel safe to move on. But Matt, unless you got anything else, I'm gonna get us out of here, my brother.
Nah, I'm good.
All right, guys. So you know what? Shout out to our everydayers and new listeners for making Locked On Fantasy Baseball your first listen each and every day. And for your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. Until next time, guys. See you.